Hello and welcome to my channel. And before we get started, if you liked the video, please consider leaving a like or comment as it will help the video reach more people. With the formalities out of the way, I am irrelevant, but Slasher's Keep is not. Now what is Slasher's Keep? Developed and published by Damian Schloter, Slasher's Keep is an action-oriented roguelite set in the first person. Now quickly, first I'll just cover a few of the options. Now when loading the game, there is a config screen for screen resolution, graphics, monitor select, for windowed or full screen, as well as a button config. Now on this screen, we of course have VSync, a good FOV slider. There is an issue some people have with motion sickness, so having a high FOV slider is really nice here. When it comes to sound options, they're fairly limited, and I did run into an issue with my Go XLR, so in case you're considering streaming the game or recording some of it yourself, you may run into issues with a mixing board. Now there's of course permadeath and easy mode as well. When we go into new game, you'll see permadeath and easy mode. And there are a few different characters and unlocks. And as far as I know, the characters also start with different stats and skills. So let's just start a run here and show you what I'm talking about. So of course you do get a little bit of storyline, and there are, I believe, 10 floors in total. Now the big thing with this game is that there are stats. Yes, stats in a roguelite. Leveling up as well as skill progressions here. Now each of the characters, the starting characters anyway, start with different skills, and they also start with different stats. So let's break out of here and show you a bit more what the game has to offer. Now there is random loot in this game. You start off with the chest that has random loot. We got a little bit of a meat stick and a ring here to start off with. And the rooms that you end up going into, if I can remember how to pull out my weapon, I cannot. The rooms that you end up going into will either be hallways like this one, or they will be rooms akin to Gungeon, Isaac, and other roguelites in the genre. Now, the way the progression in this game kind of goes is that you want to get every room on the map covered and checked out so that you know that you've gotten every bit that you can in the early game. And as you progress, you'll be able to do more and more and more. There's somebody else on my side. I apologize. I'm trying to talk about what all this game has to offer. Now these mages up here can be a little bit of an issue because you cannot block these magical attacks. You kind of have to just take them out. Now there are a multitude of different weapons with different speeds and different stats on them. Just like as I had akin to something like Diablo earlier, or maybe you prefer Path of Exile, that's all good. You also lose HP exceptionally fast in this game, so that is my fault. Next we can talk about wands. So after picking up a wand, we get the added effect of using this wand with, hold on, I need a little bit of HP, with what is considered how many charges it has, 1 through 12. Now whenever you use all the charges, it is gone, but there are many different potions to be able to up that. Now we just unlocked a secret, and most floors will have a secret in them, allowing you to find even more loot. Some of them are required so that you can just get out of the floor. So that is one room down. And this will continue for 4 floors of this kind of biome. Now there are different biomes in this game that you can cover and go through. Hold on, there's a mole man trying to kill me. Now you can't block whenever you're swinging. And there are multiple kinds of swings too if you've seen me. Oh no. If you've seen me go through this already. Now what he just tried to do was a haymaker. A big wind-up attack from the enemy cannot be blocked like all the other attacks that I was blocking earlier. Those have to be dodged. Now there is not a spot dodge or quick step ability, so you kind of just have to make your way with either the shift run, and you can't shift run to the sides or back. You have to shift around forward and forward only. You can also not switch weapons when you are prepping a strike like I am right here, or block. You can cancel your strike, but you do lose the damage of it. Oh, can't. Now that strike, of course, is much more powerful than just my regular little swings here. See what this mace has to offer. It requires 5 strength, and we have yet to level up. So that's going to be a big no-no. Another big thing about this game is that you actually really want to get kill streaks, because kill streaks will let you get far more EXP, as you see on the left side of the screen there. And those kill streaks allow you to really, really ramp up how fast you gain power in the early game, as well as the late game. So let's check out a little bit of these stat increases here. So your strength will give you melee and max HP, your dexterity will give you overall crit chances, armor effectiveness, and your intelligence will give you crit damage, bonus range, influence items at the vendor, and increase your EXP gain. Now, early game, I like to put a lot into strength and maybe a little bit into dex and intelligence, as some of the early game armors require you to have 4 or 5 in dex and int. Just like this weapon requires me to have 5 in strength. Now this weapon should just carry me. I want to make sure that I'm moving fast, because I know I can just feel that there's a mage in here. No, I'm bad. Now you can blow up these explosive barrels. The second you hit them, they start to flame. Let's hit one just for posterity. That should get rid of those 2 boys, and that counts as a kill streak as well. You also get bonuses in battle that you've probably seen by now, from sprinting, attacking weak spots, and other such things. Backstabs come to mind. If there is a weak spot that somebody has, you'll be able to attack that. Now, this room is a little bit of a mystery to me still, as it asks you to place an altar and await judgment. Now, you can drop rare items or rarity items with the ring around them in green, blue, purple, or whatever color, and that'll give you a better item. If I was to drop my item on there, like any of these that are not, I would probably get a bad return on investment. Something would hurt me or the like. Just a few things to be aware of. Normally the game does a very good job of telling you a lot of these facts at the start throughout its hint menu, but I have that turned off right now just so that I can explain without being overrun by the game trying to explain over me. So I know combat seems a little basic right now, but once you start getting skills... Oh, we're gonna die here. This is where we die. Okay, I want the mage to die though, is the thing. How is this open already? Just take it slow. You have the ability to take it slow. And I know my HP looks really low right now, but we have all the way until that thing goes absolutely to the bottom. Absolutely to the bottom. And anytime we level up, we get back to full HP. Let's open this bad boy up, get ourselves a lot of loot, and save ourselves from having to restart the run a little bit prematurely. Now, there are a bunch of different wands. This one is ice. I will try this one out for a little bit and show you what it's got going on. These are also the things that replenish your wand charges. So those are very nice to have. I need int to wear you, and that'll give me a little bit of int, but I need 5. Yeah, let's go with 5. 5 all around. Except for strength. Yeah, all around, that's probably a better way of doing it. Now, your pants, oh yeah, I like these. These are looking good on me. Now, we do have skills that we can take. This skill, we can perma-learn. Now, where are we getting this skill from? After we leveled up and hit level 3, we just naturally gained this skill. Now, we can choose to perma-learn it, or we can wait until we pick up a weapon or item that has a skill that we want more than that and choose to permanently learn that. That way, next time we load up a run, we have that new skill or that save skill, and we're able to continue our growth there. So that's really what the game's central focus is on making sure that you can make your subsequent runs a lot better than your current run. Now, one thing I have forgotten to mention that's very important in the game actually is that you have a loot sack. The loot sack is used to push enemies. Now, pushing enemies onto spikes or traps is really effective as it is an instant kill, and it's one of the ways that you're going to be getting a lot of your early game kills whenever you're still fairly bad at fighting or you don't have a good enough weapon yet. I'm sure the game does just give you a really bad weapon. This man is a little bit different. This is like a challenge. He wants you to spike 2 enemies at the same time 3 times in a row. After completing his ask, he will give you a small reward. So those little things like that in this game are very nice to run into or complete. I would have gotten a chance to talk about the sack, because this man cannot be killed in conventional ways. You have to kill him with the sack. It's just the way he was designed here. Now I don't see anything that will give me, here we go. Thorns. Now that we have an interesting item, we can actually, instead of learning Axe Crit, which it does nothing for me, we can learn Thorns, which does 8% of melee damage. Taking goes back to the attacker. Now we have level 2 in it with 1 permanent level. So we can even, after we level up more, give more permanency to this skill and then start off with level 2, level 3, level 4. I'm good on this floor. Let's just go up to the next one without exploring everything. Now, normally you would like to explore everything just so that you can get the best chance moving forward. And of course, there is storyline for each of the characters that I've seen so far, each of the starting 2, that tells a little bit of their backstory, where they come from, and a little bit of lore for the world. I want to make sure I'm jumping over this, as it is a little bit of a slowdown. I believe it's also able to be caught on fire. Now that's up to the next floor. What I'm really looking for now is the next game mechanic, because there are more, here we go. There are more mechanics than what I have talked about so far. Don't hit me, I will. I would like to, that's one of them on the spikes. I can kind of walk you into it too. So that's good for me. Now this is the other mechanic here. This is a chute. Now the chute can be used to throw things back down to your cell. Whenever you get up from your cell, you will start with these items immediately. They'll pop out of the chest just like everything else, and they'll make your subsequent runs a lot easier. So that's pretty much the basic gameplay run through of the game so far. There are more traps, there are more floors, and there's a lot more stuff to discover in the game than what I've seen. I can't hit you with my sack until I stop swinging. There we go. It's worth noting that I do have probably like 4 hours in the game so far. I've only really scratched the surface and made it past a few of the initial floors and made it to the first boss. Yes, there are bosses in this game. They are predicated pretty much on the fact that either you need a ton of strength to beat them, or you need to figure out their mechanic. There we go. This is getting harrowing already, because I'm not really close to leveling up here at the moment, and I'm about to die. Can you just... Now, if you choose not to swing like I do, which is the hold swing, you can always swing around like this, but it kind of isn't really worth it unless you get a faster weapon. Weapon speed makes a really big difference in this game. Here, can I push you onto this? Just want to make it as easy for me as possible. You may be able to see this outline of a door here. We need to find that switch that we found on the last floor to be able to open it at all. Now, one thing that I failed to mention that isn't really a big impact on the game is that you yourself can run into the spikes and end up hurting yourself in a very, very bad way. So stuff like these spikes over here actually deal damage to you if you were to be run into them. We're getting very lucky with the amount of early game finds that we're having here. And they're both stuck in the web, which I appreciate. Wait for him to swing first, of course. Want to make it as easy as you can on yourself. I cannot get in 2 swings. I can only get in 1 before he bashes me. That's fair. Now, what I have noticed that is very effective in this game so far is kind of like running at them, hitting them in the face, and then turning around and running myself. There are also small scrolls in the game that you can use to either enchant items that you would think that you're going to be wearing for a long while, or things that are just straight up like +2 strength, +1 dex, +1 int. And that really helps out later on as you go and go and go. Because when you die, you do actually lose a level or some of your level up. You'll lose some skills or some stats. You won't lose any skills that are permanent, and you might lose a level or two whenever you die. Let's see if I can actually just go get myself killed real quick so that I can show you a bit of what I'm talking about here. So those two boys are dead. I always think they're alive when they're standing there. That is on me entirely. There should be something in here that can kill me fairly quickly. Now there are more enemies than what you've seen so far, obviously. Oh, and there's a shopman too. So obviously keeping things around like this is nice to do, but not necessary. We actually had an upgrade there that I wasn't paying attention to. That is my fault. Just trying to make a little bit of money before I talk about the next mechanic here, which is the fact that you can build weapons. Now, building weapons is nice. You're going to need a shaft and a headpiece, or you're going to need a hilt and a blade. So nothing in here really strikes my fancy right now, but I will carry a few of these just so that I can hopefully show this piece off in the future. I would much rather have... Oh, I can't buy all of them, actually. I cannot buy all of them, actually. Let's switch these two. Sell that bad boy for money and just continue our move on then. Now, there isn't a lot of floor here, actually. It's probably going to extend a little bit more, but I'm actually in the business for dying here. So let's see what can come of this. Oh, we can't swing twice. We cannot swing twice fast enough. What side? Okay, I couldn't charge up a swing either. I wanted to see if I could. Now, when you die, you obviously get a little bit of story about going back to your cell, your body feeling weaker, and then continuing on from there. Once you continue, you see exactly what you've lost. Now, you lost 23 of your money, 1 strength, 1 dex, 1 int, 0 levels, and all non-permanent skills, and any items you did not toss into an item chute are gone. Everything is gone, except for what I left myself from upstairs. Now, that starts me off a little bit stronger than I was on my last run. Of course, you still get your random loot to start with, your 2 items, and that is the loop. You will continue that for 10 levels. I can't exactly say how long a full run of the game should take, but there are save states and parts of the game where you can put down and pick up later in case you're in for that kind of run, you know? So that is going to be my initial look at and initial review of Slasher's Keep. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think down in the description below if you're going to check it out for yourself, or if you have checked it out, let me know what else you've seen or what else I may have missed in the video. Thank you very much for your time. I've been irrelevant, but of course you haven't. And I'll see you next time. Peace.